welcome to this second episode of our Edvanta Alumni Interview Series. And today we have with us Shivaditya Bose. So, Shiv, before we get started, why don't you just introduce yourself a little? What is your major? Where are you right now?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. As Vartik said, my name is Shivaditya Bose. I'm currently studying at University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign. My major is engineering mechanics with a specialization in manufacturing and construction management. I'm in my senior year, so
Mhm.
hopefully hoping to get out of college as soon as possible.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, great. So my first question for you is, like when it comes to choosing colleges, we create like a list of different colleges, like this would be the right fit. There's like 15 or
Right.
20 colleges. So when you were creating that list, what were some of the important factors like college size or curriculum? What were some of the most important factors that you considered while applying?
For me, I think the most important factor was possibly the faculty and also the content that was being taught. During my college selection process, I went to each of their courses, understood, even though I couldn't understand most of it, but saw which of the classes seemed or which of the majors seemed the most interesting to me, and then accordingly shortlisted few colleges. Other than that, I feel I wanted a kind of a college which has a good community because I'm a lot into sports and I'm someone who's a bit more social as well. So I wanted an environment where there's a good balance of just work, but the social side of things as well. Um, that was one. Location, unfortunately, I didn't really consider as much.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, that's something I probably should have because now that I'm at UFI, it's a lot more secluded place compared to a lot of cities. So that location was something I should have considered more. But these were the three of the top things: academics, work-life balance, and now probably should be location as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay, okay. And like as a follow-up to that, like if you got multiple offers, why did you end up choosing UIUC to go to?
So for me, I my options, and this was the COVID year, so my options were like the top two at least were UCSD
Mm.
and UFI,
Okay.
right? And I had few other options in the UK as well,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't really like. I was going for Imperial at that time. I didn't get Imperial, so I was like, it was either UCSD or UFI, and I thought that UFI is a much more close-knit community compared to UCSD uh, academically and from an engineering point of view. UIUC seemed to be a lot more hands-on,
Mm-hmm.
and it also seemed to have classes where I thought I could understand more and do more hands-on work. I think that was one of the biggest reasons I kind of looked at UFI. Other than that, I would say it was also about the location. Like, you know, I didn't want to be on the east, like on that coast at least. I always wanted to be towards, closer to Chicago kind of area because for me, I like the cold weather. So Chicago was a better opportunity for me compared to, UC Davis. So that
Mm.
was mostly the reasons at least.
As you mentioned, like you were focusing a lot on hands-on learning. So
Mm-hmm.
after spending few years at UIUC, do you think like that is actually the case?
To be honest, no.
Okay, okay,
Like, no, I mean, to be honest, I've changed my majors a lot. So
okay.
earlier I was a physics major.
Mm-hmm.
I changed that from being a physics major. I then changed to an engineering mechanics. So
Mm-hmm.
both fields were very, very theoretical. I went in thinking that I will be able to, you know, m- go through into mechanical. That didn't work out. So a lot of all the classes that I've been doing a lot more theoretical than at what I would have liked. But coming into my, let's say, my junior or my senior year, a lot of those hands-on work has been coming in now because most of the classes and the labs we are doing, they're all, very, very, lab report oriented, and you have to do a lot of data analysis. So that all of that is definitely coming in. Outside of that, if I talk about, hands-on, there are a lot of clubs over here that obviously promote a lot of hands-on learning. We have Baja, which again, off-road racing. We have Formula E, which is, electric formula car racing in a way. So all of that, all of those opportunities are there. But for me specifically, the type of classes I was taking, I didn't feel I had enough time to juggle my clubs, juggle all the work I was doing,
Mhm.
and work outside of college as well.
Oh, okay, okay. And I also like to talk a little bit more outside the universe before you when you were in the application process. And
Hmm.
at Advanta, we do a lot of profile building work.
Correct.
So, for students who are right now in the application process, we would like to give any tips that they should keep in mind while they are doing profile building.
Definitely be very, very transparent and be very communicative with Catherine. I
Mhm.
think Catherine helped me through and through in this entire process. Uh, just again, being very communicative with her, making sure you have each other's expectations right.
Mhm.
That that's from step one. Second, I would say is start early on, possibly trying to understand what you're going to be writing on your essays. The college lists can come through later.
Yeah.
I feel, that's something that's not really an issue, but having a set essay, like, okay, for your common app, you have a set essay. For, for your college specific essay, you have essays such as, why do you want to get into this community, or, what is something that's unique about you,
Mhm.
the set, the set type of questions that exist. I would start working on those early on, because then you can just cut and paste into different types
Mhm.
of essays and for different colleges. So that was something that I faced as well. I started at a good time, but I it was difficult for me to cut and paste, because I didn't have that set formula from
Mhm.
the beginning. So working on that formula would be I would feel that would be really, really helpful.
I think to summarize it, it's like start early and also uh, not worry a lot about college list early on, but
Hmm.
like get those general things done so that you can.
Correct. The general essays, you can use anywhere you want at
Yeah.
the end of the day. You just getting them done at first.
Yeah. And as a follow up to that, like while you were doing profile building, is there any one or two activities that you feel like that stand out that really like improve your application?
So for me, I had a lot of passion for engineering, and I had a lot of passion for football.
Mm-hmm.
So for football, I had started my own business. I still
Mm-hmm.
run it. It's called Vibrant Sports Group. I have in which I'm essentially act as a FIFA licensed agent, where I can essentially deal with clubs in Asia, South America, and so on. So that was something that I wanted to do for passion. I saw there was a requirement for it, so that's why I got into that. Other than that, Catherine really helped me with at least understanding that what all options can be there, even though I have to do all the work, but understanding where to start from, I think that was big. So Catherine helped me with, getting started with research papers. I did a lot of robotics as well. So, continuously working on those robotics competitions like first Tech Challenge, first Lego League. Um, and yeah, that was mostly it. These were probably the most highlighted parts of my resume at that time.
Yeah. All right. And also, like, because when you're in the application process, it can be very taxing, very challenging.
Hmm.
Do you feel like there was some sort of mistakes that you made, or were there any points you were feeling like, okay, this is not the right thing, this is not the right approach? Were there any points in the application why you felt that?
I think I felt like that at the end of it, at the
Okay.
end of the application process, in the sense that just 2 to 3 days before submitting my application, then I start overthinking, oh, this essay could be better, this could be better. I feel
Yeah.
at that time, if I worked on something for 2.5 months, 3 months, I should have just let it be, instead of tampering with my essays and then thinking I could do things better. So if
Yeah.
you've worked on something for 3 months, just let it be and trust yourself, and then just submit it.
Yeah, I think I agree with that because I've seen few cases where a student would like write a good essay, but then
Yeah,
probably mess it up at the end by just
exactly.
overthinking. So yeah.
Exactly. I did a lot of that, and I don't know if that affected my college results or not. But even at that time, my parents were like, just let it be, do whatever, send whatever you have done. So
Yeah, I think that's a very important tip, especially when you are about to apply in your last few days, and then you should not just touch it. You let it be.
exactly, exactly. That's at least one of the biggest mistakes I've not biggest, but like one of the mistakes I did at that time.
Yeah, yeah. And now coming back to UIUC now. So
Mm-hmm.
how how challenging do you think the academics are at your college?
I feel engineering specifically is very, very challenging. I know it's not just about, I would say, the mechanics side of things. It's also the same for ECE, CS, civil, structural engineering. For everyone, engineering, Granger College of Engineering is challenging in general because in the beginning years, in your freshman year, in your second year, you don't you only just touch the surface of all the material, right? In your third and the fourth year, a lot of that intellectual math comes in, which didn't really suit me at first,
Mm-hmm.
right? So getting through that has was a challenge. So and for some reason, UFI is very, very heavy on mathematics all the time, right? That's what I have noticed compared to other colleges and other friends I have in other colleges. So they're very heavy on mathematics. They're very, very heavy on coding. So their entire course just revolves around solving coding to solve problems, even mechanical problems, coding for that, you know, or solving math problems before you can actually reach to the engineering problems. So you need to have very, very good basic maths and calculus. All of that has to be, jotted down to actually be able to actually not struggle in your, junior or sophomore year.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And also, as a follow-up to that, as someone who is pursuing engineering at UIUC,
Mhm.
how much time do you think you need to spend in the classroom versus like doing independent research work or doing independent like assignments?
Uh, in classroom, I don't think you have to spend a lot of because nowadays what happens is that all the classes usually are recorded, at least in your
Okay.
freshman and in your sophomore year. Most of the classes are recorded, right? So, what you should definitely go to classes, but you don't have to spend a lot of time on that because everything you can always go through it at home. Um, in your freshman and your sophomore year, there's something called read out classes. Essentially, there are classes which are like specifically made so that your workload is extremely high during that time. So uh, you'll have a lot of homeworks, you'll have a lot of lab assignments, you'll have a lot of discussions to go to. That will be very, very heavy in your first and second year. From your third year, the amount of workload goes down, but the amount of work you have to do for one homework goes up exponentially. So in freshman year, one homework used to take 2 hours. The
Mm.
same thing in my third year would take 15 to 16 hours to complete.
Okay.
Right. So it's that shift, but I just have to complete one homework in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So it's the rigor that would go
It's
up.
the rigor that goes up, but the workload is a lot more higher in your earlier years.
All right. Yeah. Got it. And earlier you mentioned like there are a lot of societies and clubs on the campus.
Hmm.
Just to get an idea like how easy it is to get into join those clubs and what are like
Very,
like
sorry, I didn't get the last
so
part.
what time commitment is there any set time commitment you have to give to the particular club or is it like it's flexible?
Honestly, there are a lot of clubs and it's very, very easy to get into them. Every single club has general meetings they set a certain time every week that they will have general meetings, they have department meetings. On
Mhm.
the other, on other days, everything is set out very systematically. It all depends on you how much time do you want to invest. For
Mhm.
instance, if you're very interested in Formula E, you can in fact invest 20 hours a week because you're mostly at the shop, or mostly at the design place where you have to design your car and so on. However, if you just want to be part of something called the October Appreciators Club, where
Okay.
people in this club just appreciate fall, right?
Okay.
The fall seasons and all. So you don't have to, you can only spend 1 hour a week in that. So there's a variety of clubs,
Mhm.
but your time commitment definitely just depends on how much do you want to give in. And another thing that also matters a lot, at least for these clubs, is that there are a lot of good career opportunities coming out of these clubs.
Okay.
So, for instance, as I said, Formula E, Baja, they have companies that are sponsoring these clubs that come in to recruit club members in their free time. So companies wouldn't may not come for the entire college, but they would just come for these clubs and recruit students from there. So if you're doing well in that club, if your recruiters are coming in, then you can also get a job. But on the other hand, if you don't want to be involved as much, then that's also fine.
Mm-hmm. Okay, okay. Yeah. And did you also have an interview to get into college, or
No, no, no. I didn't have an interview.
UIUC doesn't have interviews?
Mm, Not that I know of. I didn't do an interview at least. I don't know if they've started it now, but I didn't.
Okay. And then, okay. So my next question is, how are the internships or like co-ops opportunities on campus? Like, and how is the college supportive of it?
See, I feel UFI has been very supportive,
Okay.
but at the same time, the job market is extremely tough right now.
Okay.
Very, very talented people aren't getting jobs because of international status. So it's not all rosy when people in my freshman year or before I went to college, people said that, oh, it's going to be very easy or to get a job because you're from UFI. That does not happen because there's a there are a lot of international students. Yes, university will help you with career fairs. It'll help you with you know helping you with your resume, how to give interviews. All of those facilities and all of those opportunities and resources are there. But
Hmm.
at the end of the day, the college won't do anything extra to be able to pass through an interview or pass through the resume screening stage. So
Hmm.
that's something that you have to do. But yes, UFI will give you all the resources you need to make sure you're at your best when you're presenting yourself in front of companies.
I see. I think the job market would be definitely a big factor when it would come to.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, I mean, that way UFI has all the opportunities. You just have to go ahead and use them. You need to know where you can find those resources.
Hmm. Okay, okay. So yeah, I think that was mostly about it for like the detailed question, but we also have
Okay,
something called a rapid fire round. It's like
okay,
where I would just like you to give 1 to 2 word answer at max without
sure.
thinking about. Yeah. So let's start. Okay, so my first question is just one word to describe your university experience so far. Just one word.
Oh, wow. That's a tough one. Give me a second, even though
Yeah.
a mix of struggle and excitement.
Okay, struggle and excitement.
Yeah.
What was your favorite class or course during like this few years at UIUC?
Uh, I'm taking this course right now. It's called CEE 320, which is a construction management course.
Okay. What is your favorite sport on the campus?
Soccer, football.
Okay. Mm, one favorite memory from your time at university so far.
Hmm. Probably will be the time when so over here there's a festival called St. Patrick's Day. So
Mhm.
celebrating St. Patrick's Day with everyone.
Okay. And what is your favorite place on the campus to be?
Favorite place on campus. Um, Signature Grill, which is a very good restaurant over here.
All right. Uh, what do you think is the most challenging part of settling into university life?
Understand time management
Mhm.
and understanding when to make use of our time management.
All right. What is your dream career post graduation?
Post graduation, work as a project manager.
Mhm. And finally, what is your favorite food on campus?
Nothing.
Nothing. No favorite.
Nothing. No favorite food.
Why is that, if I may ask?
It's been 4 years and there are only X number of restaurants, so I've tried everything. So I just miss home food at this point.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so that's about it for rapid fire. And before we close off, do you like to give any like closing tips for students who are right now in the application process? Any points you'd like to give them to like they should keep in mind?
It'll seem like a lot at that time,
Hmm.
but just keep your calm. Just keep it easy, keep it simple, keep it step by step.
Hmm.
Listen to Catherine. Uh, yes, college is tough, but you will go through it. Everyone does.
Yeah, I think that's quite encouraging.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Yeah, thank you. It was great chatting with you.
Thank you so much, Vartak.